Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents A Novel Way to Die by Tamra Baumann. Narrated by C.S.E. Cooney. Chapter 1. My eyelids must be superglued together. As hard as I try, I can't seem to pry them open. I'd really like to confirm I'm still alive. Antiseptic hangs heavy in the air. Luckily, I doubt that's how the afterlife smells. I hope I'm in our tiny hospital clinic. But I'm getting way ahead of myself here. A long chain of events has happened that brought me to wherever I am right now. This story really starts a few days ago in my recently inherited bookstore, Cloaks, Daggers, and Croissants. We were getting ready for a big book signing when I asked a simple question of my newly discovered, adopted 15-year-old sister, Brittany. "Are we ready for our guest author?" "All set," Brittany replies without taking her eyes off the phone in her hand. She has a propensity for dressing all in black and rolling her eyes, but she's a good kid. I already care deeply for her. Brittany finally meets my gaze. "And the Queen of Crime's list of demands has been fulfilled as well, down to the lavender plug-in air fresheners and her $50 a bottle hand sanitizer. If I ever get famous, Sawyer, please remind me not to be a jerk like Angelica Kane." "How about I remind you now?" I toss her a rag. The bookshelves still need dusting. Nothing like hard work to keep an aspiring celebrity humble. Before Brittany can achieve all 360 degrees of her eye roll, my best buddy Renee, who is tall, olive-skinned, dark-haired, and gorgeous, walks through the front door of the bookshop. She's wearing a sexy red jumpsuit with strappy black sandals and bearing ice cream from her shop, the Daily Scoop. "Sawyer and Brittany," Renee says, "I need your help. I'm trying out a new flavor. It's called Blackened Heart Cherry. In honor of your guest author, who'll be signing books in the blood she probably sucked from innocent children and other people's boyfriends." I laugh despite my best efforts to hold it back. "Hold a grudge much?" Renee scoffs. "I already told you I don't care that you're hosting the signing. Angelica and Zach grew up here too. Zach, the gold digger, can have his rotten author meal ticket. Me? I'm going to bask in my good fortune that he ran off with her instead of ruining my life by marrying me." Renee sets 3 dark red sundaes, oozing with thick chocolate sauce on the counter, and digs into hers first. "Ice cream is sweeter and more comforting than any man I've ever met." "Angelica Kane's husband, Zach?" Brittany asks. "The one and only," I answer. Zach used to be engaged to Renee until Angelica lured him away with her fame and fortune right after college. It left Renee hurting and resolved never to have another serious relationship again. I think she will when she meets the right guy, and believe me, she has no shortage of men in her life. Brittany's eyes widen as she pounces on her ice cream. "You got dumped at the altar, too? Like Sawyer did?" If one more person brings that up, I'm over that, and I am trying to mend fences with Dylan Cooper, who's now the sheriff of our small town. Renee shakes her head. "Lucky for me, Zach hadn't even bought the real ring yet. He gave me his class ring and said he'd replace it as soon as he had the money. But he never came by any money until he married Angelica, so that sort of put an end to the whole engagement-to-me situation. Not that you won't find the perfect soulmate and live happily ever after, Brittany." Renee glances at me. "Sorry, Sawyer. I forgot we're supposed to be molding Brittany's young mind with positivity and good karma." Brittany shrugs. "My mother dumped me for a man, too, so whatever." That breaks my heart, so I slip an arm around Brittany's shoulders. "Your mom left you in my mother's capable hands because yours knew she wasn't cut out to be a parent. We should give her credit for that. And now I have another sister. It's all a big win-win the way I look at it. Brittany glances at Renee, and they share a let's humor the poor optimist look that I'll just ignore. Because, well, I am an optimist. What can I say? Cooper agrees with me at least. Don't you, buddy? My adorable mini goldendoodle with a white chin, who my mother bought for me before she died, raises his head. Cooper has been snoozing in the summer sunshine on a comfy couch in the front window of the bookshop. He thinks it's his personal throne. My mom's cozy mystery bookstore has themed reading nooks scattered about. I might have to rename the Sherlock Holmes Baker Street retreat into Cooper's Doggy Den. When his tail starts wagging and he jumps from the couch, I assume he's coming to support me. Until he heads for the window and sits up tall like he's expecting his best buddy. A glance toward the front door confirms he is. Sheriff Dylan Cooper, my former cold-footed fiancé, ambles inside.
Hi, ladies. Sawyer, can I speak with you, please?
He tilts his dark-haired head toward the door as he squats to pet my traitorous mini doodle. Mom named the dog after Dylan in an attempt from the grave to remind me to take my former fiancé back one day. Today isn't that day. Dylan and I are becoming friends again, but I'm keeping my guard up. My heart still has the bruises he left there 8 years ago. Dylan gives my dog a generous rub, along with one of his signature movie star-worthy grins.
Hey there, Cooper. How's it going, buddy?
Cooper wags his goofy tail and promptly rolls on his back, demanding an indulgent belly rub. Maybe my dog is taking being pushy lessons from our guest author, Angelica Kane. She'd called last week and said she was bringing hundreds of her fans with her to Sunset Cove, our tiny Northern California coastal town, since she had to visit her mother anyway. Her enthusiasm for the event had been underwhelming, to say the least. Unlike her list of demands, those have been daunting and ever-changing. I have to give Brittany points for her restraint when dealing with such a spoiled diva. Brittany, will you please watch the shop for a few while I have a chat with Dylan? Renee sends me a smirk as she licks ice cream from her spoon. She finds the recent competition for my attention between Dylan and my mom's sexy lawyer, Gage, amusing. I find it confusing. I'm just an average-looking brunette who hates the gym and loves to cook. And to eat, of course. After Brittany nods her consent to watch the store between bites, I turn to Dylan and say, "What's up?" He stands and smiles at me too.
I've been thinking about something.
Before I can ask about what, he takes my arm and leads me out the front door in that pushy way he has when he's got something big on his mind. I'm not sure he even realizes he does it. Weirdly, I've missed being with a man who's that passionate about how he feels. We cross the street to the town square, and then to a cluster of benches on the far end. He says,
"Maybe we should sit?"
"Okay." I choose a bench that faces the ocean, hoping the crashing waves against the cliffs below aren't going to be indicative of what tumultuous thing Dylan might have to say. When Dylan's face tightens with a familiar seriousness, my stomach takes a dive. It's the same way he looked when he listed all the reasons he had to bail on me at the altar. "What is it? Did you figure out who sent that golf ball flying through my shop's window a few weeks ago?" The one that said, menacingly, "Sawyer, go home," on it. Or something close. Cooper's drool had made some of the words smear, so it's a bit of a guess. He shakes his head.
No new leads there. This is personal."
Uh-oh. Now my stomach is filled with angry wasps. How personal?
So personal, it's going to possibly hurt. Me, not you.
He flops beside me and takes my hand.
I want you to date Gage.
He could have said my hair was on fire and I would have been less shocked. I don't understand. Why would you want me to date my mother's lawyer? Not that Gage isn't handsome, too, because he is, and really nice. We've had a few pleasant business dinners recently. Dylan, blue-eyed and full of muscles and brawn, leans his big, khaki-uniformed shoulder next to mine and whispers,
"You obviously like him, so I need you to explore that. I won't be anyone's second choice. And when you finally come to your senses and realize you still love me, we'll talk."
I don't know if I want to punch Dylan or kiss him. Instead, I close my eyes and count to 5. We've talked about this. The day your brother married my sister changed everything. We're stuck with each other every holiday. What if we try again and it doesn't work? Maybe it's best to wait and see how things go. Naturally, not via your silly science experiment. I mumble under my breath because I can't help it. And since when do you get to pick who I date?
You already picked Gage, not me.
Dylan slips an arm around my shoulders and pulls me close. I can't say I hate it. He's nice to hug, all muscle and male. Gage and I are just friends. Maybe I'll find someone to date online, like Renee does. Actually, I hate that my best friend does that. It doesn't seem safe. But Dylan doesn't need to know that. Even though he probably does. He knows me better than anyone else. He slides his finger under my chin and gently tilts my face toward his.
I can see the way you look at Gage. Like he's one of your shiny French cooking pans or something. I hate it, but if he's who you want, then I'll step aside. I want you to be happy, Sawyer.
Oh, man, now he's gone and made my heart all gooey. I hate that. It makes things 10 times more complicated. I'm just a displaced chef from Chicago trying to get my life in order after my mother left me with a crumbling Victorian house, a failing bookstore, and a trust fund I have to outsmart to finally open the restaurant my mother always wanted me to have. My uncle is trying to take my mother's share of said trust, but I'm invoking a loophole I found. If I can keep the loophole a secret, it will allow me to build the restaurant of my dreams without my uncle knowing. I'm so close, and don't know if I can afford a relationship too right now. I think I might want to live like a nun for a year or so first, manless and reflective. Dylan's grin slowly grows into a mischievous one.
I'd like to test that theory.
He moves his mouth a breath from mine and whispers,
But I need your permission first, to kiss you.
Kiss me? My hormones scream, yes, please, while my brain is shouting, don't you dare. Unfortunately, hormones are a powerful thing. Since it's not the worst idea I've heard all day, I close my eyes and kiss him first. It's like a bomb goes off in my judgy brain, silencing the protests immediately. Kissing Dylan is like coming home on a cold wintry night to a raging fire and a hot cup of cocoa. Sweet and warming all the way to my toes. His kisses touch me in places. Maybe I'd better keep things G-rated here and lean away. Luckily, Dylan leans back first. With a self-satisfied grin on his handsome face, he says,
That kiss just made a liar out of you, and I don't think nuns are allowed to lie.
I roll my eyes, Brittany style, mostly because fooling Dylan is impossible. Fine, I'll date Gage to see if there's anything there. I bet he kisses 10 times better than you do anyway. I peel off Dylan's arm that has wrapped itself around my waist. Let go before the whole town has us married with 2 kids. He quickly moves his arm to his side.
We always said we'd have 3.
Yeah, but I'm older and wiser now. 2 kids plus a bossy husband will probably be all I can handle. See you later, Sheriff. I stand to leave.
I'm the bossy one.
A low laugh rumbles from Dylan's chest as he stands too.
Who was the one who insisted we go to that restaurant in the city all the time? The one with the candles and the white tablecloths and with wine no one can pronounce. The place with a hovering waitstaff who scowl when you pick up the wrong fork to eat your fancy snails. Mario's, wasn't it?
My favorite place. We used to go there to celebrate special occasions. Dylan is good at invoking good memories while pushing my buttons at the same time. I place my hands firmly on my hips to show him I'm not taking the bait. Keep it up, and you won't have to worry about me dating someone else. You'll be too busy solving your own murder. I turn to walk away as Dylan's big hand wraps around my arm to stop me.
Sawyer, wait. I was kidding. Please, talk to me. Tell me where I stand here.
The desperation in his voice as he slowly turns me to face him hurts my heart. I've forgiven you for jilting me. He was confused when he left me and joined the army, and still is in some ways over his parents' bitter divorce and his mother's subsequent death because of it. But I'm not sure I can risk being hurt like that again. And I do like Gage, as a friend. That's all I know for sure right now. He slowly nods in understanding.
What I know for sure is I love you. Never stopped. And I'll always regret leaving you. It was the dumbest move I ever made.
It was. I close my eyes and lean my forehead against his hard chest. This decision would be so much easier if I hated you for getting cold feet. I've honestly tried to hate you. Really, really hard, but I can't. That low rumble in his chest sounds again.
You're such a sweet talker. It's what I love most about you.
Very funny. I poke him in the side and lean away. I've got to get back. Big signing and all. We'll talk later, okay?
Yep.
He shoves his hands into his khaki pants.
Is Renee okay with seeing Zach again?
Unlike me, Renee knows exactly how many ways she'd like to see her ex pay for what he did to her. I think I admire that about her. I smirk so he knows I'm kidding. I'm serving death by chocolate cake at the signing if you'd like to stop by later. I start walking backward toward the store, across the grass, because I like to see him smile. He loves that cake as much as I do. He lays his hand across his chest.
That you'd make my favorite dessert, despite my bossy ways, makes my heart soar.
I don't want to smile, but I can't help it. Admit it. You're really coming to be sure Renee doesn't hit Zach over the head with something.
That too. Bye.
He smiles and lifts his big hand, watching me until I have to turn around to cross the street. What am I going to do about Dylan? And Gage? And my new secret restaurant? And my new little sister? I don't know how to be a parent. I'm just learning how to be a good dog mom, much less a pseudo-mother to a 15-year-old. Would Dylan or Gage want to deal with my new sibling? Because Brittany and I come as a package deal now. My sister, Megan, the brain surgeon, has her own family in San Francisco. But I can always count on Meg for help and advice. She's the best. Better to pull a Scarlett O'Hara and think about it all in the morning. I have my first big book signing to pull off. People from nearby San Francisco have called to confirm Angelica will really be in our store this afternoon. So I ordered extra books I hope I can sell. This signing could make or break the bank this month. My store's shaky bottom line is riding on the signing's success. Later in the afternoon, the store is packed with Angelica's fans fawning over her, and her handsome husband, Zach, who has been put in charge of charming the ladies waiting in line. Finger-snapping sounds, and Angelica's fake sing-song voice calls out, "Sawyer, be a dear and get me some more of that watermelon water with extra ice, and another of those lovely croissants, too, while you're at it." My mom always had gourmet coffee and croissants delivered to the store every day, free to anyone who stops by, and I've kept the tradition going. But today the crowd has been so large. We've gone through 4 extra croissant deliveries and 3 of my Death by Chocolate cakes. I saved a piece of cake for Dylan that I hope will still be there by the time we close. Brittany's eyes cut my direction. Yes, Sawyer, do be a dear, won't you? Brittany can't contain her grin any longer. Why does she talk like she's British and 60? Aren't she and Zach like your age, 45 or something? Brittany knows I'm only 32. She and Dylan apparently went to the same button-pushing school. They both must have graduated top of their class. Yes, which means I'm entirely too old to run down the street and get more croissants. You'd better do it, I say in my best British accent. You should leave the bad Brit act to your pal over there. Want me to take Cooper home so he doesn't have to be stuck in the stockroom? Yes, please. I feel bad for my poor little dog, who is normally everyone's instant best friend. Cooper had sat and held up a paw for a high five when Angelica and Zach had come in. Angelica was on the phone and didn't see him. Zach asked Brittany to remove Cooper immediately because Angelica has allergies. Make sure he has a rawhide so he doesn't chew up my new molding in the laundry room. Brittany nods and takes off to get Cooper. Then she heads for the front door with my dog on his leash. Dylan is there and holds the door open for my new little family to walk by. Then he joins the line near the register where I'm working. He must have finished up his work for the day because he's dressed in jeans and a white t-shirt that shows off his nice chest and abs. He rarely gets a whole Saturday off, so I'm glad he's taking the afternoon at least. I smile, and he returns it before I get back to the line of customers waiting to be rung up. One moment, please, while I get something for Angelica. I'll be right back. I run to the kitchen and pour more watermelon water with extra ice. When I turn around, I nearly run into Angelica's husband. The only thing the same about him from high school is that he's tall. Now he's blonde, fake tanned, with bleached teeth, and has had more Botox injections than Angelica. Hi, Zach. He hasn't spoken to me since they arrived, instead focusing on pushing Brittany around. He probably still remembers my reaction when he dumped my best pal. It hadn't been very nice.
Hey, Sawyer, thanks.
He grabs the glass from my hand.
Were you this pretty in high school?
While I did make an effort today, throwing on my fanciest blue dress and black heels rather than my usual dress slacks and a blouse, I don't tend to stand out in a crowd. People always say I remind them of someone, but they can never remember who. However, I have a snarky side that has been tested all day by our diva author, so I say, actually, I was in a terrible car accident and had to have total facial reconstruction a few years ago. I'm surprised you even recognize me. Zach's eyes go wide in horror before he laughs and slaps a big hand on my shoulder.
Got me again, Sawyer. You and Renee were both the biggest smart-ass.
Dylan's loud grunt cuts Zach off. Zach lifts his chin in greeting toward Dylan and then finishes,
Alex. Smart Alex.
Zach quickly drains Angelica's glass.
That's amazing. Can I have some more?
Sure. I draw a deep breath and tell myself this will be over soon. Then I can lock the doors and count all the money we hopefully made today. I fill 2 glasses and stick them out. Will you take a glass to Angelica too, please?
You bet.
He takes the glasses and asks,
Is Renee still around? I was hoping to see her today.
I don't know, but you should see what she's done to the shop since her parents retired. She's added amazing baked goods now, too. A one-stop shop for everything delicious.
Really?
Zach shows off his fake white teeth.
I'll have to pop over there before the shop closes. Thanks again.
He lifts the glasses like he's toasting me, and then wades back into the crowd to deliver his wife her drink. I shake my head at his arrogance and wonder for the millionth time what Renee ever saw in the guy. Then I go back to my patient customers and get busy ringing up books again. After another hour, the crowd thins, And the Admiral, who runs our book club each week, finally gets his autographed book. He's grinning as he approaches the counter to pay for it. "Hello, sailor. Great turnout today." "It's been amazing." He knows my name is Sawyer, but he rarely uses it. Why I'm the only person he calls sailor is a mystery I haven't solved yet. But then, the Admiral is his own mystery, disguised as either a genius or a man who's losing his marbles one by one. I haven't decided which yet. "Did you get to talk to your nephew?" I glance around, but Zach is nowhere to be found. The Admiral, tall, white-haired, and always dressed in a cardigan and slacks, blinks at me for a moment before the light bulb goes on behind his eyeballs. "Technically, he's my late wife's nephew, not mine. Besides, I never really liked the lad. He thinks he knows more about sailing than I do. Can you imagine that?" Actually, I can. Zach was always full of himself. I point to the signed book. "I'm surprised you have to buy that. Angelica and Zach must know what a mystery lover you are. Don't they send you free copies?" The Admiral leans close enough that I can smell the peppermint he's sucking on. "Not since I told Angelica I could tell she wasn't writing her own books anymore. The tone changed, along with the technical expertise used in the murders. But don't say anything. Obviously, all these people haven't figured it out yet." That's super interesting. While it's no crime to hire ghostwriters, I'd never figured Angelica to be the type to let go of enough control to do that. My lips are sealed. I run my fingers across my mouth like closing a zipper. But now I want to read some of Angelica's prior work to compare it with her new books. When the last customer finally leaves, I lock the door behind me and lean against the glass to take stock of the day. Brittany left a while ago to let Cooper out of the laundry room at home. Dylan is back and cashing in on the leftover cake that I stashed for him, and Angelica is on the phone whining about her broken nail. She wants her manicurist to drive down from San Francisco to fix it tonight. Maybe her mother has high nail standards or something. Angelica, who's scary thin, and with hair dyed platinum blonde, she's actually a brunette, like me, has a face that barely moves due to all the injections as she yells into her phone. She finally hangs up on her caller and then focuses on me. "Sawyer, where's Zach?" Her fake British accent has suddenly disappeared. Maybe she only does that for her fans? I don't know. I haven't seen him for hours. But thanks for today, Angelica. You did me a great favor. She waves her hand. "It's the least I could do. Your mom was always my biggest fan, even when I was writing garbage in middle school." I hadn't known that. You obviously figured out how to turn that garbage into best-selling words, so congrats. Even if she isn't writing all of them herself anymore. Angelica isn't listening. She's busy on her phone again, this time yelling at her agent about something. All I want to do is go home and soak my tortured feet in a hot bath. Wearing heels all afternoon isn't for the weak of heart. When Dylan's phone rings, he reluctantly stops eating his cake. He says, "Z, slow down. What did you find in the freezer?" Z is what we call Zelda, who works for Renee. She's rich, and yet she works in an ice cream shop. I've still not figured out why. Dylan hangs up, and then calls the paramedics as he jogs toward the door I'm still leaning against. "What's going on?" I ask. Dylan whispers in my ear, "Keep Angelica busy until you hear from me. We found Zach in the walk-in freezer. Head wound. Z thinks he's dead." Dead? That can't be. He was just here. Dylan adds, "Have you seen Renee this afternoon? Z said she hasn't talked to her today." "No. Renee said she might go into the city to shop, or go for a long run, or show up here looking fabulous to make Zach pay. She hadn't decided." Then all the blood rushes from my head to my toes when I realize why Dylan is asking about Renee. There's no way Renee would ever go through with her idle threats against Zach. This has to be an accident of some sort. Dylan's jaw tightens.
Let's hope.
Chapter 2.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?